This damn dog. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, also known as the Fat Funny One, and welcome to the chaos. If you have just landed on my channel and it's the first time you're here, then welcome. My name is Jess. I'm a working mum of 4 incredible kids who are 10, 4, 2 and 1. I am married to an awesome guy called Trev. We've got 2 cats and a dog. I work a corporate job. I content create. I've written a book. And I basically share all sorts of randomness. But ultimately, my key thing is around my family life and hopefully inspiring and encouraging others by some of the life lessons that I have learnt. And this video is basically that. I would love if you could join me, so please do consider subscribing and joining me on this wonderful journey. So, we are coming to the end of 2022. I can't even, let's not even, because I know everyone's gonna say the same thing, like, who can believe we're even here? But 2023 is fast approaching and we're getting to that point where everyone's like, New Year's resolutions, goals, what are we gonna do next year? You know the drill. And what I wanted to do was, rather than just share goals or let's do this, I wanted to actually share how to set goals, get clear on them, and make goals something that's actually achievable. I spent a lot of time in my life setting goals and just not doing anything about them. A lot of that came from how I felt about myself, but also because I wasn't setting them properly. I didn't understand the fundamentals. I wasn't really actually doing it right. I think I just was like, oh yeah, God, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, with no plan, with no anything behind it. As we are fast approaching the end of the year and coming into a new year, naturally people do want to set goals. And I wanted to actually do a video that was to help understand how to set goals, how to get clear on them, and to set goals in a way that will help you achieve them, because ultimately that's all we want, isn't it? That's what we want from them. And so I hope this video helps. Let me know in the comments and make sure you get to the end. But I'm going to share 10 things that I have learned over the years that have ultimately changed my life. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but I promise you, really getting to grips with setting goals and understanding that they are achievable for me, and actually achieving some of the ones that I set, which drives me to want to set more and do more, has been life-changing for me. I work in jobs and do have opportunities that I never thought I would have before. So I'm hoping this is going to be really helpful. Do let me know if it is. Let's get into it. So number 1, what is your why? Understanding why you want to achieve what you want to achieve is just so fundamental in being able to drive you forward. For me, it's the motivation. It's the reason why you're doing what you're doing, why you're setting what you're setting. And if you don't know what that is, it's so easy to lose sight of why you're even bothering in the first place. It's so easy to lose motivation, because your why is your motivation. It's the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And I know I'm saying why a lot, but hopefully this makes sense. So what is your why? Defining what that is for you. So for example, mine is a lot of the time my family unit, my husband and my children. A lot of the reason why I set the goals I want to set is either giving them something or teaching them something. So I either want to go for opportunities or behave in a certain way or achieve a certain thing because I want to show my children that that's possible for them, or I'm doing it for the monetary value because I want to be able to build that generational wealth for my children and to have some financial freedom for our family. So they are fundamentally my why. And remembering that, particularly in moments when I don't feel motivated, when I don't want to get up and do something, when I feel frightened, when I feel anxious, when I'm overwhelmed, when I'm full of self-doubt, all of those things, when I remember my why, when I get back into what is the purpose of doing this, when I remember that, it keeps me going. So defining your why and understanding what that means to you is really, really important. Number 2, getting your priorities in order. So when you're setting goals, it's really important to understand what areas of your life you want to set them in, to understand the categories of priorities, the things that are really important to you. So I split mine into 4: family, career and work, which is like 1, health and well-being, and finances. They are 4 areas of my life that are really important to me, that are my key priority, and normally where my goals will sit in those kind of areas of my life. For me, it's really important that you identify what those areas and priorities for you are. When you are setting goals, if you've got no direction, if you've got no understanding as to what you actually want to focus on or what areas of your life you really want to, you kind of just pick any random goal, don't you, for the sake of it, and there's no real focus or drive or understanding about what is important. It's very similar to your why. Knowing why you want to do something, what areas of your life are going to have an impact on your why, is really, really important. So think about what areas of your life you want to focus on. Now, I've got 4, you might have 2, you might have 1, you might have 5. It's very different for everyone, but just look at the areas of your life. Look at the things that you want to change or areas that you want more happiness in. Again, look back at your why. Will that help you define your categories? Yes, do that. But the second thing is absolutely understanding what your priorities are and putting them into categories. Number 3 follows on from that really nicely, and it's be specific. Now you've got your categories all set, or your priorities, however you want to, whatever language you want to use. I call them categories for me. Once you've got those, being really specific about what you want to achieve in all of those areas is really key. I was always so wishy-washy, and I would be, I don't know, for example, in financial, I'd say something like save money. Okay, well, save how much money? What for? What am I doing? Get specific. Get into the detail, into the nitty-gritty of what it is you want. One thing I found really held me back is thinking that some of the things I wanted to write down, or the amount of money maybe I wanted to save, seemed really ridiculous. So I almost held myself back, which is why I was so vague. But don't be frightened of that. Write things down. If it's something in health and well-being, like I wrote one about wanting to read more. I really wanted to read more in 2022. So I got a figure. I was like, right, I'm going to read 22 I'm going to read 22 books in 2022. I made it specific. How many books was I going to read? If you want, break that down. I want to read 10 self-development books. I want to read 10, I don't know, non-fiction books or fiction books, whatever that looks like for you. But get really specific. Get into the nitty-gritty of writing your goals. Get numbers on the page. Get figures on the page. Do what you need to do to get as specific as possible. Number 4, how can you track or measure where you're at with your goals? So for example, for me, when it comes to financial goals, I really love color trackers. And I know that sounds really childish, but I love the visual. I love being able to see what I'm doing, where I'm saving, color in, get really immersive. That means and makes such a big difference to me. Being able to see where you're at any point in time is really, really important to keep you motivated, to understand what position you're in, how far you've come, how far you've got to go throughout the journey of achieving your goals. So how can you track and measure, and what are you going to put in place to be able to do that? Number 5 is be realistic. Now, this is going to sound a bit contradictory, so hear me out. When writing your goals, I don't mean that you have to limit yourself to thinking what is reality and what can I achieve in this moment now. Dream big, have big things, have big goals. And I say that because I have done the same thing. Years ago, I wouldn't have written half the stuff that I do now, the work that I do, the opportunities I have, the money that I earn. I never would have written those figures or those things down because they didn't seem realistic to me. I'm not necessarily talking about being realistic in what you're writing down. However, what I am saying is have a look at that goal that you want to achieve and how can you fit that into your daily life realistically. So let me give you an example. I really wanted to be part of this 5 a.m. club. Like really, I was like, yeah, everyone's that girl. They're all waking up at 5 a.m. Everyone has these 5 a.m. Wake ups. All these successful CEOs wake up at 5 a.m. Honestly, the reality for me is that I have 4 children, 3 of whom do not sleep through the night. I cannot wake up at 5 a.m. after an hour's sleep or 2 hours sleep. Now, don't get me wrong, I probably could, but I'm not going to be well rested. It's not actually going to be good for my health because I wouldn't have had that much rest. So waking up at 5 a.m. wasn't necessarily realistic for me. But what I did do was then reassess what that goal meant. What I wanted was to establish a really good morning routine. So I had a bit of time to myself. I could set up, I could get things sorted, I could get ahead of the day. That's what I wanted from it. So realistically, waking up at 5 a.m. was not going to be right for me. But achieving a great morning routine and breaking that down was. So when I say be realistic, look at what you want to do. How can you fit that into your daily life that you have now? So if you want to do, I don't know, 4 hours of something in the afternoon, you're like, right, I'm going to dedicate 4 hours a day to building this business. But realistically, once you've juggled the kids and work and other commitments, you've only got an hour a day. 4 hours a day isn't a realistic goal. What would be is an hour. So building your business, having time to set on your business, that is still something you can do, but be realistic about how that's going to fit in. And I say that not to make anyone think that they can't achieve what they want to do, and it's not to make anyone think small, because we want to think big, we want big things, But one of the things that I did was set myself up for failure because I was trying to achieve things that actually I physically could not fit into the life that I had, i.e. being part of this 5 a.m. club and then feeling like a failure when I didn't achieve it, when actually the realistic version of that was just establishing a really great morning routine. So sometimes you have to reassess your goals. So be realistic. How can you really fit this into your daily life so you can achieve what you want to achieve, but reassess so it really fits into your current lifestyle. Number 6, have some dates in mind about when you want to achieve certain things. I was always really bad at this as well. It's again going back to being really specific. Get some deadlines. Push yourself to meet them, because when you can be wishy-washy and just go, oh yeah, I want to save £1,000 and then that's it. When do you want to save that by? How can you break down how much you need to save each month or each week or each paycheck when you don't know when you need to do that by? So have some dates in mind about when you want to achieve certain things. There might naturally be dates in the calendar that you need to achieve certain things for. So for example, you want to save up for a holiday or a vacation, so you need to save up before the summer because that's when you want to take it. It might be that actually there's a promotion or an opportunity at work that's going to be available, I don't know, in February next year, so you've got to do some qualification or bring your skills up to speed by February next year. There might be some dates in mind, but you need to give yourself a timeline. Otherwise it's vague, it's wishy-washy, and you haven't got any idea when you really want to achieve something. Now, it's okay to have a year-long goal or even a 5-year-long goal. I'm not saying that you have to make everything a short time frame, but having a time frame is really, really important. Number 7, and I think we're at number 7. I don't know if I've been saying the numbers, but number 7 is reward. Are you celebrating, or have you got an idea of how you want to celebrate when you achieve the things that you're putting in place? And I say that because sometimes we can get to it, you know, achieve what we've wanted to, and then there's a bit of an anticlimax because there's no big celebration or big like, woo, you're just like, oh, I've done it. Okay, now what? So put in place things that you're going to do or buy or treat yourself or whatever that looks like for you when you have achieved that goal. And I think it gives you an extra something to look forward to. And also at the time when you then achieve it and you get to it, there isn't this anticlimax because you've got something to celebrate, you've got something to do, something to get, something that's actually going to really mark the occasion of achieving the thing that you've set out to achieve, because I think it's really important and it keeps us motivated. So for example, is there a monetary amount that you'd like to save, and when you do save that amount you're going to buy something or treat yourself to something? Is it that actually you've got a health and wellness goal that you really want to achieve, and when you do that you're going to treat yourself to, I don't know, a night away or a spa day or whatever that looks like? It's going to be so different for all of us, but having something extra to look forward to on top of actually the joy of achieving it can really keep you motivated and give you something else to strive for. So make sure you've got something to look forward to, have that reward, celebrate yourself and get comfortable doing so, because achieving any goal for anyone, there's no big or small, just any goal that you have, something that you've set yourself to do and you've managed to do that, deserves celebration. Number 8, put your goals somewhere you can see. Now, honestly, if you write these down, this is what I used to do. I used to write them down in a book, particularly New Year's Eve. I'd like, yeah, I'm going to write down all these New Year's resolutions. I'd write them down in a notebook, put the notebook in my drawer, and the drawer and the notebook were never to be opened again. Don't do that. Put them somewhere you can see. Now, goals can be quite personal to certain people. You might not want to share what you're actually looking to set out to achieve. If that's something that you want to do and keep private, then fine. However, having a picture of your why or reminding yourself of why can be really important. So if it's not the actual goals that you want to put out where maybe other people can see and you don't want them to, but putting a picture of your why, having something that you can see daily that's going to remind you of why you're doing what you're doing or what it is that you want to achieve is so important to keep your head in the game. Do not just write them down and forget about them, because it's really easy when you've put them away and then don't look at it anymore. I've got a vision board, it's up in my office over there. It's got images and pictures and words, things that are going to remind me of why I want to do what I want to do and what it is that I want to achieve. So when I come into my office, I'm reminded, okay, this is why I'm sitting down at my desk. This is why I'm talking about this. This is why I want to work hard on this. I'm reminded. So put your goals or a picture of your why or anything related to it somewhere you can see every day to keep your head in that goal game. Now, number 9, and I know I've mentioned about keeping private or not wanting to share your goals, you know, publicly. You might not want to do that. However, I think it's really important to have an accountability partner. Have you got someone that you can share your goals with, whether that be a friend, your partner, your spouse, your children, your colleague, whoever that is, someone who is trusted to you, who is on maybe a similar journey to you, that you can hold each other accountable, you can check in with each other, you can encourage each other. I think that really helps. Now, I'm very blessed and feel very fortunate that I've got a couple of people I can do that with. One of my best friends, Charlotte, she's amazing. We will text each other every month. What are we doing this month? What's our focus? We star it in our WhatsApp chat and we can come back to it and have a look. She's also very goal orientated and very driven. We've got similar traits like that, so we can be really encouraging for each other. Same with Trevor, my husband. We've obviously got goals that we want to achieve as a family, so we keep each other going, encourage each other. The key things here for me is when you get into a bit of a slump, when maybe you haven't hit a goal that you thought you wanted to, or you're not maybe getting the results that you're looking for to hit it, or you know, you're slowing, or you're feeling demotivated, it's having someone outside of yourself to come in and go, no, come on, you can do this. Because when you're feeling like you failed, it's really easy to slip into a slippery slope of feeling negative about yourself. There is a really brilliant quote that says, if you had a flat tire, would you go around and slash the other 3? Like, you wouldn't, would you? But we can often do that with our goals. We will set a goal. Say we've set 4 goals, we don't achieve 1, we feel so bad about it, we feel like a failure, we get into this really negative headspace around not being able to achieve anything, feeling like a failure, feeling not good enough, and we, hypothetically, end up slashing the tyres of the other 3 goals and don't even go for any of them because we've put ourselves in that negative space and really internalised that failure. So don't do that. Having an accountability partner, having someone else who can step in and go, whoa, no, you can do this. Let's get back in line. Let's realign ourselves. Let's do it. And also you to be that person for somebody else, so you can also take your advice. I often do that with Charlotte. I will say, no, you can do it. Come on, let's do it. And almost motivate myself and big myself up and get myself all like about it when I'm doing it and encouraging her. But definitely finding an accountability partner or community is really going to help you along. And number 10, which is probably, in my mind, the most important and follows on a little bit from number 9, but it's show yourself some grace. And it's really easy to fall into that negative headspace. It's really easy when you're not doing what you expected, or you have these super high expectations of yourself or of a goal, or of a situation, or of your circumstance, and then something doesn't go to plan, to let that completely knock you for 6. I've been there, I've done it. It's why I spent so many years not achieving so many of the things that I wanted to, because I would allow myself to not show myself the grace and the empathy that I would show other people, particularly when they are not doing something or not achieving something that they hope that they would. The one thing I've learned over the years is that you will not get anywhere by berating or hating yourself. I almost thought for a long time, if I hated myself enough, it would give me the motivation to do better. It just doesn't work like that. To actually feel motivated and to have that real force that's kind of pushing you forward, that's making you go, no, you can, get up, come on, you can do it, comes from a place of love. It does not come from a place of hate. And if you are not feeling that way about yourself, doing the work to feel more positive about yourself is so important in setting goals and achieving them, because it's the achieving part that we really want. Most of us can set a goal, but achieving it is a different story and a different journey. So showing yourself some grace, having that self-love and that empathy and the patience that you would so generously show to other people, show to yourself, because it's going to be integral in keeping your head in the game, particularly when things don't go as planned, when you get a knockback, when you get a setback. It is so important to be able to brush yourself off and say, do you know what? I might not have done it then, but I can still do it. I've still got an opportunity. Maybe I need to reassess. Maybe I need to realign, but I can do this. An example I can give you is YouTube. I have loved YouTube for years and years. As a consumer, as a creator, I absolutely adore it. I had these big hopes. I wanted to, have 1 million subscribers. I am desperate for that YouTube plaque. I really am. I would love one. And I've wanted to achieve that, and I get so frustrated when I set myself a goal on YouTube and then it just doesn't happen. You know, last year I wanted to hit 5,000 subscribers, but I didn't put the work in. This year I wanted to do 100 videos and my circumstances just didn't allow for that to happen. And at one point in the year this year, I just thought, why am I bothering? Why am I bothering? There's no point. I'm not going to achieve what I want to achieve. Just give it up already. And I thought, no. If any of my friends or anyone in my online community came to me and said, I'm just going to give up on this because, oh, this happened and I just, whatever, it's just not for me, I would never say to them, yeah, you're right. Just give it up already, babes. I just wouldn't ever do that. And I thought, I'm going to show myself the same empathy that I give to others. And I thought, no, Jess, reassess and realign. 100 videos, that's excessive. You're probably not going to be able to do that. Again, going back to be realistic for your lifestyle. Can I fit that in? No. So what is realistic for me? Well, at the minute, it's do it when I can do it. That's okay. It's still chipping away at achieving my bigger goal, which is to get that YouTube plaque and to really inspire and encourage and share on here and to have this beautiful YouTube community. I'm still chipping away at that, even if I'm not doing 100 videos a year and I'm just doing a video when I can. Maybe it means I don't achieve my goal as quickly, but it doesn't mean it's unachievable, and that's what's really important. So show yourself the grace, show yourself the patience and the kindness that you would to others to keep yourself motivated. You deserve to achieve the things that you set out to achieve. You're worthy of them and you're good enough to do it, but understanding and believing that for yourself can be challenging, but it will change the game when setting your goals and actually achieving them. I really hope this video has been helpful. I hope there is something that you've managed to take away from here that's going to encourage you, help you, support you in not just setting your goals, not just getting clear on them, but actually achieving them, because you totally deserve to. I want to thank you if you've got this far, for watching this far. Please do consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel if you want more content like this. Do drop me a comment as well about what tip you think out of those is going to be the most helpful for you. And thank you again for watching. Take care. Bye.